spoke to me.
What did it say, Isaac? What did it say to you, Isaac?
Alright, well, now that I won't be able to sleep for the foreseeable future, I might as well tell you why this game is worth the bloodshot eyes, the sleepless nights, and the horrific nightmares. This is Dead Space 2, and this is more than just an improvement over its predecessor. This is the new benchmark for its genre, and a veritable clinic for sequel development. A fantastic example of how to turn one great game into an even better series. Now, 3 years ago, a new leader in survival horror crawled from the dark hallways high above the ground floor at Electronic Arts headquarters. Spawned by the sadistic minds at Visceral Games, Dead Space was a terrifying game set in an utterly hopeless place. But ironically, Dead Space was also a game about hope. It was about fighting through hell to get back to heaven, to deliver an angel from a horde of demons. Of course, we found out later in Dead Space that what we were clinging on to, that hope we were following, well, it was nothing more than an illusion, an exploitation by an unimaginable horror. And that's where Dead Space 2 picks up the plasma cutter. This isn't a game about hope. This is a game about hopelessness. You see, Isaac Clarke has seen more horrific scenes and images than the human mind may be capable of withstanding, and as we're reunited with him, we see he's coming apart at the seams. Isaac wakes up in a hospital on one of Saturn's moons. He has no memory of the time since the Ishimura, and as he regains his consciousness, he finds himself face to face with a familiar horror. Tied in a straitjacket and completely unarmed, Isaac is again running for his life, a life that has completely devolved into a nightmare. Like the original, a captivating story fuels Dead Space 2, only this time, it's perhaps even more tragic. Isaac is haunted by terrifying visions of his dead girlfriend, a death for which he feels responsible. But are they really hallucinations? What is reality for Isaac? As the boundaries between his physical and psychological worlds blur, Dead Space 2 weaves a genuinely engaging fabric of tragedy, acceptance, and sheer terror. That's what keeps you glued to Dead Space 2. What keeps you playing is that gruesome Dead Space gameplay, a set of mechanics that have been honed to a gleam for this sequel. Speaking of the rotting flesh on the Ishimura, Dead Space is a surgical game, a word as fitting for what you're doing as what you're doing it to. The necromorphs, these horrifying beings with no thought but to kill, they can't be destroyed through strength of arms. To kill them, you have to sever their limbs, and that's what defines Dead Space. Armed with high-temperature laser cutters, you cut through their throats and legs like a sadistic doctor on a killing spree. As these beings approach, running with an erratic and punctuated stride, you have to keep your cool and aim to sever. This is a precision game, but when you're trembling with fear, a steady hand is hard to come by. And for the sequel, this gruesome gameplay mechanic has actually been improved. Isaac moves more smoothly and quickly than before. And Visceral Games has even added a few new toys to his arsenal as well, including a weapon that basically lets you play space zombie darts. The backtracking of the original game has also been dropped in favor of more streamlined levels that play out in a more cinematic fashion. So the framing of the scenes is even better as a result, and that claustrophobic terror that defined the original game is still intact. Like the name of its creators, Dead Space 2 is disturbing on a visceral level. This is a game that confronts you with your own morbidity. There's so much blood, so much flesh and tissue everywhere, and the line that separates yours from theirs is just a thin layer of skin. It's definitely not a game for the queasy, but it's not mindlessly gory either. Dead Space 2 is a genuinely terrifying and smart game, but more importantly, it's also the new benchmark for survival horror.